The king has returned. Tesla has officially started Model X deliveries, but it's a bit more bizarre than I was anticipating. That in itself makes for a headline, but it's the details that I kind of wanted to highlight today. So for one, the first Model X delivered at the Fremont factory, they're basically starting with the Bay Area because that's the quickest, vehicle off the assembly line and handed over to the customer they can do. But they expect that to expand to the rest of North America in the coming months. But the first Model X deliveries were the long-range option, not the Plaid. So this is a tad different than the rollout of deliveries for the Model S, where they had the whole event, and the first, 3 weeks or so of Model S deliveries, they were all the Plaid powertrains, everybody dropping $120,000, $130,000 per vehicle, whereas with this new Model X, they're starting off with long range, and anyone who has reserved a Plaid Model X is basically being told to wait until January or wait until next year. And the other thing Tesla has sent in emails, which of course have now leaked to all of their employees, is that they're starting off with the 6-seater option of the Model X, which I thought was also an interesting choice, but financially, it actually makes a ton of sense because the 6-seater, while it doesn't technically sit as many people as the 7-seater, it costs more because they're essentially taking the same front row seats and putting them in the back, which gives you more of a captain vibe. They're more luxurious despite the fact they don't have armrests, which I found a little bit bizarre, but those Model X's cost a couple grand more than the 7-seater, and they're saying that if anybody wants to get your Model X as soon as possible, then you should modify your order to a 6-seater, and people that have ordered the refreshed Model X in the past are going to be able to spend the extra couple $1,000s to switch their order to a 6-seater, but without having to accommodate for the $10,000 price hike, because in case you weren't aware now, the long-range Model X starts at $100,000. So thankfully, they're still basically honoring the original pricing they put forward at the beginning of the year, but this has been a long time coming, because originally when Tesla refreshed the Model S and X at the very beginning of 2021, Elon was so confident, they were so sure that the first Model S deliveries were going to be in February and the first Model X deliveries would be in April. Seriously, that actually happened. April of 2021 is when they expected first delivery of the refreshed Model X, and it's been all the way pushed back until October. Now we're finally getting them started, although it is fairly low volume. I don't expect more than a couple thousand Model X's to be delivered this year, but I'm just glad there are some, because I think overall this is an astounding vehicle, and now that it's gotten the upgraded Model S interior treatment, this is just the Swiss Army knife of Teslas, basically until the Cybertruck comes out. I know that that's got a lot of utility and durability that people care about, but here you've got the Falcon Wing doors, you've got the auto-presenting doors, yoke steering, and the windshield that goes all the way to the back, plus the 17-inch center display. You've got ventilated seating, and with the Model X you have a ton of storage space in the back. So overall, I just think this is a incredible vehicle. I know there's some people out there that think, oh, it's too complicated, we need to get rid of the Model X from the lineup, but you need the X to spell sexy, and they're clearly churning out a lot in storing them on the factory line, including around the test track, which I find funny because it says a lot about how many vehicles they're producing, and they've still got to deliver them to customers. But estimated delivery for if you haven't ordered a Model X yet is pushed out all the way till May or June, which I'm glad isn't as bad as it used to be. Just a few days ago, they said if you ordered a Model X, you were going to have to wait until September, basically a year, and now they finally updated it to be, more like 9-10 months, so it's not as far out as originally thought. But we know from Tesla's previous comments on earnings calls that these refreshed models actually cost less to build, despite them costing, $10,000, $20,000 more than what they were originally charging. So my prediction is once they catch up on demand and once they ramp up the production of the S and X, they'll likely be able to lower the prices in order to get more people buying them, because typically when you see a slump in demand, that's when you see a price decrease and more people start paying attention, like, actually it's cheaper than it used to be. But I'm a huge fan of the Model X overall. I think I've mentioned before, if money was not a factor and I could get any Tesla, Model X long range would certainly be my vehicle of choice, because I really, really appreciate the windshield design and the practicality and all the seats it has available. So I'm glad to see deliveries are finally beginning, and before everybody freaks out and says, the Falcon doors are too complicated and we should scrap the X entirely. The truth is, the Falcon doors were complicated to figure out the manufacturing process for, but once you've figured it out, it's honestly not that bad, and I think the Model X can still serve its original purpose, which is to be a more luxury-based vehicle that has healthier profit margins, which Tesla can take those healthier profits and put them towards making cheaper vehicles, more factories, better batteries, and all that stuff. That's what the original purpose of the X was. I think that's still the purpose today, and the R&D has been done for the Falcon Wing doors, okay? They figured it all out. They know how to mass produce it. It's just a matter of time and getting the right chips from suppliers to deliver these vehicles. But man, can you imagine the speed tests of the Plaid Model X when that comes out? I think it'll be the first time in history you'll be able to go 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds with 7 people in the vehicle. Literally, 7 people in a car going 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. That's insane to me. So I can't wait to watch those videos, and I'm sure a lot of you can't wait either. How many of you are waiting on a Model X or thinking about upgrading to one? Feel free to let me know down below. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.